All right, let's continue, guys. So this is where we are. In the previous video, we created this beautiful section. Okay, so if we look into the code, let me just take this window and put it here. So if we look at the code, that component is a page. So what do I mean by that? You need to take some sort of give attention to your components as you are creating them. There is always a relationship between components. Okay, it's either a component is a, okay, for instance here, the component that we have created, this section, okay, is a page. Okay, well, one might think of it as is a child of a page. Okay, but I am pushing this further. It is a page. Okay, what do I mean by it is a page? It is affected by the page. It forms part of a page. Okay, you see this header. This header is not a page. Okay, but it's being important in a page, more something like it features in a page. So whatever that is happening in this page, it doesn't really affect this header. Okay, but now with this component, as you can see, it is inside the page. It has been declared in a page, which is a problem. That means the relationship between this component and the page, this component is a page actually, because if we remove this component, you will realize that the page is empty. So the page is a component. So we need to some sort of break this relationship. Now let me introduce something new. Okay, as you can see, this header, okay, it's not inside the page. Okay, it's just outside the page. So this is a technique in coding that it's geared towards loosely architecture. You need to have as many pieces as you can so that when you combine those pieces, they form a whole. Okay, this helps in terms of flexibility. This helps in terms of maintainability. You only maintain a certain part of a system and that part forms a whole. Okay, so it helps. Okay, and also it hits on the single responsibility principle. Components need to do only one thing. Okay, so I can call this technique modularity. Okay, a code that is modular, meaning that it's composed of certain modules. So meaning that this header, it's a module on its own. But this can be pushed further than that. Okay, not only the code, it's modular. Okay, meaning that this component is just outside this page, but also as it is outside this page, how it has been constructed. Now let me introduce compound components. Okay, so before I explain compound components, let me just go to Google and search for compound components. In fact, for a compound in general, okay, it doesn't have to be a component, it just have to be a compound. Let's just look at the image of a compound. Okay, obviously this is going to be more like chemistry because the word compound is some sort of dominant in the chemistry field, I would like to assume, but the concept, it's the same. Okay, you've got two things. When they are combined with the other one, they form a compound, which is this one. I hope you do get that. Okay, let's look for another one which might be clear. Okay, I think this one is going to be clear. Okay, as you can see, we've got a combination of these. Okay, it's two of these and one of this, two of this and one of this, as you can see. So we can say on the left hand side, we've got two reds and four white. The actual name of the compound is not important because this is not a chemistry class. Okay, we've got two red balls and four white balls. Okay, so this is stage one. In stage two, now this makes, okay, four white balls separately plus two red balls. Okay, so I hope you see the relationship of building things from its own building blocks. Okay, so I hope you do get that, and also I wish you can also take note of the reversibility of that. Okay, so meaning that we can have two red balls plus two white balls and they form this, and also we can break this down into this. So I hope you can also take note of that reversibility. Okay, so what am I trying to introduce here? I'm trying to introduce flexibility. Okay, so as much as we are going to take this component and move it outside, let's see, and move it outside the page so that it cannot be a page, but it can feature in a page. But it's also very important for us to think about how are we going to do that. So we are going to do that through compound component. Okay, I'm going to explain this as we go. So the first thing that we need to do, we need to just take this section, take it out of here. Okay, this is step number one. Take it out of here, and then let's go to components. So where does this component belong? Is it specifically an app component, or a component that we can even ourselves use it in another code? So as you can see, guys, this is not really something that is very specific to the e-commerce that we are doing. So it doesn't belong to the app files. Okay, so it belongs to the reusable files. Okay, so let's get into the reusable files, and let's create a folder here, which is components. Okay, components, and let's create a file. Let's call this file page section. Okay, because whatever that we're creating, it's a section in a page, so let's call it a page section. Okay, a page section .tsx. Okay, and then from there, let's type RAFCE. Okay, let me just zoom in here just to make sure that you can see what is going on here. Okay, so I think this is much better. So as you can see, guys, we've got this component. Okay, so what we need to do now, we need to paste this component here. As you can see, everything works well. So what we want at the moment, if we look at our UI, suppose this is not here. Let's see, why is it still there? Didn't we? Oh, we didn't save. As you can see, guys, there's this white dot, so we didn't save. Suppose now it's not there. Okay, as you can see, guys, it's not there. So how can we put it back there? We need to import it here. So we just need to paste this word as it is. For now, let me make it like this, not a self-closing tag, and then I'm going to press Control and space to import it. So if we go back here to the UI, suppose now it's here. So obviously one might feel like, well, we didn't do much here. We have just moved this component from the page, okay, to a different file, and then now we are importing it. So Matthew, there is nothing much that you have done here. Well, I would agree with you, but this is the first step of writing a highly scalable and clean and maintainable code. Okay, this is, we are done with modularity. Okay, we are making this code modular. Okay, in terms of reusability, I am not sure if we are hitting that at the moment in time. Maybe it might happen we're getting there, but I'm not satisfied. We can still push our usability further. So as you can see, guys, step number one, it's done. So step number two, remember I said we need to take care of how these components are being created. Okay, now I'm getting into the compound component. So let's go back here and let's see. So we've got two ways to go about this. The first one is the usual one. And which one is it? As you can see, guys, this looks like a simple component to me. Okay, it's just an empty space and a title and a description, and that's it. Why don't we, this is the first option, why don't we just pass props here? Excuse me, why don't we just pass props here? We pass the title and the description, and we render the title and the description. Let's just quickly do that. Okay, let's say title and the description, and this is going to be, since we are using TypeScript, we can, my apologies about that, we can then type this title as a string and a description as a string. Okay, description as a string. Okay, and we need to use those. So instead of using where is the title, instead of using this, we will use that title. Okay, here we are making use of props in solving this problem. Okay, as you can see, and then we can take this description and put it here. What is the problem? Property does not exist on type. Okay, let me copy this description. Maybe there's a spelling mistake there. Description, yes. So as you can see, I don't need this dot here. So as you can see, suppose now we don't have the title and the description, suppose, as you can see. So how are we going to have it? We need to pass it from here, okay, as a prop. Okay, title, coded design, which is my YouTube channel, and then the description, best YouTube channel. Okay, so let's go back and see, guys. Okay, suppose these will appear here. So as you can see, okay, this is the section. So this is the first way to go about this. I don't really think this is some sort of a pattern, okay. It's just we are just passing props. There is nothing much here, okay. But when we are coding, we need to think in design and implement in principles, okay. So we need to some sort of appreciate the beauty of creating building blocks that fits well together, and also they help in the maintainability and the scalability, okay. So now let's think different, okay. So we can change this approach and adapt a children first approach. What is a children first approach? We can convert these, okay, into children. So let's go back here. So as you can see with HTML, it looks like to me there is always a parent, which is we call the container, a div or whatever. Here is it, and inside it there are children, okay. Why don't we try this approach so that we don't have to pass props, okay? Well, somebody might feel like this is a simple application. We can pass props. What is the problem? Okay, let me tell you or show you what is the problem. Prop drilling. Okay, obviously, this is not something that you are going to some sort of quickly encounter. Let's say it's as a beginner, this doesn't really make sense. I'm just teaching you for you to understand that this problem exists, okay. And also how to solve it or how to go about it. So prop drilling, it's a problem that arises in a React application when you are passing props that are not going to be used by this component, which are going to be used by this component, and also this component is not going to use them, which are going to be used by this component. So as you can see, this property, if you were having another component inside this A page, which doesn't really use that title, so you need to pass it down to D. When you get into D, you need to pass it down to F. So this problem is called prop drilling, okay. So as you can see that you've got some components here, B and D, which has to receive props which they are not going to use. They must pass it through so that it can be used by F and E. So this is prop drilling, okay. It's a problem because it doesn't fit into single responsibility. Now B has got a responsibility of carrying a title that it cares less about, and D also carries a title that it cares less about. As you can see here, it's easy for somebody else to get lost in a code if it's like this. So that's why we need to favor children first, okay. So with children, if I've got a container, then obviously I have some children inside it, okay. So let's continue, guys, and see what we can do here. So now not only we are going to what can we say, make this modular, but we are going to some sort of create a compound component. So let's get into it. Obviously, whatever that I'm going to do here, it might look familiar to you, okay, but it's such that now I'm going to explain to you. Maybe you might have seen it in some other UI libraries, okay. So let's see, where do I want to be? I want page section, as you can see. So for now, I don't really need the props because we want to convert these to children. So let's go to definition, and I don't want these. Okay. So what I want to do now, I want to extract the title and the title and the description as separate component, but those components, they are not going to be outside this file. They are still going to be inside this file. So check here, guys. Where am I going to do that? Let me do it here at the bottom. Okay, let's see. Let's see. And also let me do it outside this section. Okay. Let me do it outside this section. Let's say const. Is this a title or a header? Okay, there's a header and a description. Okay, so let's just call it a title for now. Okay, const title. We might change if there is a reason. So let's return this title. So as you can see, let me even delete this. So as you can see, guys, this is just a normal title component. It returns this title, nothing much. Okay, so there's nothing fancy here. Okay, so also we are going to create the same thing. Okay, but now for description. Okay, but now for description, and we are going to paste the description. Okay, it looks like the description doesn't even have some styling. Okay, so what I can do here, I can just type class name gray. Okay, class name gray. Okay, we don't really need a description here. Okay, so what do I want to do next? As you can see now, the question arises, where are we going to get the title? Okay, so what we want to do here, we can receive a prop. Is it going to be a prop? Let me think. It's not going to be a prop. It's going to be children. Okay, remember we said we are moving or gravitating towards children first approach. Okay, so let's make this as children, and then children as a react node. Okay, and we are going to take whatever that is, and we are going to put it here as children. Okay, so as you can see, we've got this title. It takes children and it renders those children. And then here, even with description, I think it's the same thing. Description is supposed to have receive some children and it render the children or a child. Okay, so now the only problem that we have here is that we have declared something and we didn't use it. So as you can see, what we did, we've just removed these guys from here. Okay, we've just removed these guys from here to outside here. Okay, let's just check, where were they? Were they here on top of the section? Were they here? Okay, but that doesn't matter. Okay, now I forgot, where were they? Where were they? Inside this container or what? Okay, but we can easily see where they were. Check here. I'm just going to copy this. Okay, and then I'm just going to type undo. I've already copied that, as you can see. So description was here, inside here, and obviously the title was there. Okay, yes, obviously the title was there. Okay, so if I can delete these, and then remember I have already copied those, so I can paste this as they are. So as you can see, so what's the next step from here now that these are not inside here? Okay, so what we want to do, we want to receive some children here. Okay, we want to receive some children here. My apologies about this. Let me just copy this. Okay, as you can see, we want to receive children here and render them here. Okay, my apologies about that. Need to open this and render them here. So now this component page section, it's ready to receive children. Okay, it's ready to receive children, but it's not aware of those children. Okay, what are those children? It's like it's not aware. Okay, it doesn't know which one. Okay, so meaning that if you look at this, let's just come back here. Okay, now it needs some children. Okay, let's say whatever. Okay, so as you can see, it's happy because there is a child there. Okay, a React node, it's anything. Okay, so as you can see, as it receives that, it puts it here. Okay, cool. happy with this, but still we are not we are not in the compound component yet, okay? Or we are not in the compound effect of what we are doing. Okay, so let's go back here, guys. Okay, I'm happy with this. Now it looks like we want these guys, okay, title and description, to be inside here. Okay, in a way, that's how the overall product will look like. Okay, the component, these guys in the end, they must be here. So we need a way to link. Let me just format my code so that it can look nice and neat. Format document, happy with that. Okay, so in a way, these guys will be used here. So we need to find a way to link this guy with these ones. Okay, so let's create that relationship. So what we want to do now, we want to take this page section. Okay, page section. This page section will have a title, of course. So let's say page section, which is this one. Let's say dot title is equal to what? Is equal to this title. Okay. Below scope title is used before. Okay, that's true. We are using title before we declare it. So we need to just go down here. Okay, we are declaring title and we are some sort of assigning it or pushing it inside here. So this assignment doesn't necessarily mean now this title is already here. Okay, we are just saying that it belongs to, it is a child of, it can be accessed inside. Okay, but it has not been used yet, it has not been pushed inside yet, but it's available. Okay, so let's see. So let's go back here. Title is equal to this title. Let's do the same thing for description. Okay, let's do the same thing for description. Dot description is equal to description. Okay, so meaning that in the implementation, okay, we can access these guys. Okay, meaning that when we are accessing this dot title, we are accessing this function, this component. When we are accessing description, we are accessing this component. Okay, as you can see, it takes children and so forth. Okay, and also it has got these classes. Okay, remember, let's go back here. This here, as you can see, it doesn't really have the style. Okay, that means it's just a general child. It's not the child that is available inside the page section. Okay, so we have made these guys available. Which one are those? We have made these guys to be available here. Now let's use them. Let's see how to use them, how to access them. Okay, so let's go back here. So instead of just putting random children here, we can take a page section. Let's just copy this as it is, guys, to avoid mistakes. We can take a page section component and put a dot there and access the title. Remember, when we're accessing the title, which component we're accessing? It's that title component. Obviously, we need a what can I say, a closing tag for it. Okay, remember, the title in its nature, it takes children, so it's not happy until we pass children to it. So we need to pass the children and type here, this is a title. Okay, or a header, whatever it is. Okay, so let's go back and see, is this title, this text title, going to be displayed exactly the same as that that was here, which means without styling, or since now it's being surrounded or wrapped by title, it's going to some sort of inherit all the styles from title. So let's go back here and check. As you can see, now it is a title. I hope now you are starting to see the idea, or the compound effect. Okay, let me call it. You are starting to see the compound effect, or the difference between the props approach and the compound approach. Okay, so obviously this is some sort of the simple implementation of it. Okay, but if you implement it, let's say in a bigger or a larger code, it makes a huge difference. Okay, and also it's not confusing, it's easy. This is some sort of an easy API. Okay, it's like easy, it's like HTML. You know that inside page section I've got a page title. Okay, If not page title, what else do you have? Let's just check there. Inside page section, we also have description. Okay, obviously description wants a child, and then let's say this is a gray description. Okay, so let's go back. So as you can see, guys, we did the same thing that we did last time. The same thing. As you can see, the product or the output is exactly the same. Okay, exactly the same. But now the implementation, it's a bit different. Okay, for instance, let's say we don't want the title. Check here. With this new approach, we're not going to deal with unnecessary props. Okay, if you don't want something, you just remove it. Okay, check here. We're just going to remove the title, and that's it. It's not going to be there. Okay, if we want the title but we don't want the description, we just remove the description. Okay, this is somewhat flexible, and you don't really have to some sort of memorize the props, and later as you code, it's not going to introduce some bugs, some prop drilling and all other things. Okay, so that's why we need to gravitate, or it's important to gravitate towards the children first approach. Okay, so let's go back here. Okay, let's see what we have done. Let's see what we have done so far, how useful it is, and how helpful can it be. My apologies about that. So as you can see, guys, it looks like to me there could be a title and a description. But in some other pages, we don't have the description. Okay, so meaning that this compound approach, okay, compound component approach, can help us to always remove things and add things there. So this means that if we want, we can just neglect the what, the description, and then as you can see now, we've created this variant. I can say this section variant. This one is with the description, and this one is without the description. So now we can repeat this as many as we can. Okay, check here. This is page section. Okay, let's see, this is page section. Let me just right click and format. Okay, this is page section, which is the first one. Now I can copy and paste this. Do we have a description here? I don't think we have. That's not much of a problem. Let's put another page section here, and then we just need to put a page section and a description. Okay, dot description. Okay, and then we can type here, this is a second section. Okay, so as you can see, guys, now let's go back there to check how many sections we have. Looks like to me we've got another section here, as you can see. Okay, this is the second section. Okay, so guys, that's about it for this lesson. I hope you're enjoying. If you are enjoying, please don't forget to leave a positive review. Thank you so much. See you on the next one.